In this episode, we're going to be comparing the military powers of the two Arab nations of Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates. How's it going, guys? My name is Leroy Kenton and this is FTD Facts. So we're going to jump right in. And guys, if you enjoy these videos, don't forget to hit that like button, as well as if this is your first time here on FTD Facts and you want to keep learning more about different countries and cultures, hit that subscribe button as well as that bell notification so you can see new videos every time we post them. Be sure to leave a comment down below on what military you think is better, and also let me know what other Which Is Better episodes do you want to see. Okay, so let's start off with Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia is ranked 24th in the world in terms of its military power. Their military is called the Royal Saudi Arabian Armed Forces. Now, it was founded back in the year 1745, but its current form was developed in 1902. Saudi Arabia's military is divided up into these service branches, and they are as follows: the Royal Saudi Arabian Army, the Royal Saudi Arabian Navy, the Royal Saudi Arabian Air Forces, and then we have the Royal Saudi Defense, and then the Royal Saudi Arabian Strategic Forces. With the population of Saudi Arabia being around 33.3 million, of that, their total available manpower equals 15,300,000 people. Their total military personnel sits at 256,000, and their active personnel is at 231,000. In the reserve, they have 25,000 personnel. The Armed Forces of the United Arab Emirates, however, was founded in 1951, and they are ranked 60th in the world in terms of their military power. Although initially small in number, the United Arab Emirates Armed Forces has really grown a lot over the past years and have been introduced with a lot more modern equipment and weapon systems. So yeah, they're growing and advancing, as well as they have the aid of countries like France, US, and the UK. Now, there are two distinct military organizations in the UAE. The Federal Military Force is called the Union Defense Force, and then there are several other emirates that have their own armed forces. But the overall United Arab Emirates Armed Forces is divided up into three branches: the United Arab Emirates Army, the United Arab Emirates Navy, and the United Arab Emirates Air Force. Their total available manpower is at 3,660,000. Their total military personnel is at 64,000 people, and their active personnel is also at 64,000 people. But in reserve, they have 0 personnel there. Now, when we look at the army power of these nations, let's look at Saudi Arabia first. They have 1,142 combat tanks, and they have 5,472 armored fighting vehicles. For self-propelled artillery, well, that's at 524, and towed artillery is at 432. They also have 322 rocket projectors in their possession. Now, the Army's main equipment consists of a combination of French and US-made armored vehicles. They have 315 M1A2 Abrams, 290 AMX-30s, and 450 M60A3 main battle tanks. For the United Arab Emirates now, their combat tanks total at 464. Their armored fighting vehicles is at 2,204. Their self-propelled artillery is at 177, and their towed artillery is at 105. In terms of rocket projectors, they have 54 in their possession, so their army strength is pretty much kind of equal there. So there's a pretty big difference in terms of their army power. But let's move on into their air power. So when you take a look at both these nations side by side, they are a lot closer in strength when it comes to air power. So again, I'm going to start off with Saudi Arabia for this. The Air Force is organized in 7 fighter ground attack squadrons, 6 fighter squadrons, and 7 training squadrons. Saudi Arabia has at least 15 active military airfields. For the number of fighter aircrafts that they have, that number is 177. Their attack aircrafts are at 245. In terms of transport aircrafts, they have 221, and trainer aircrafts are at 243. Now, the total helicopter count is at 227, but the attack helicopters equal 21. Now, in terms of the United Arab Emirates air power, their fighter aircrafts are at 104. Their attack aircraft sit at 96. When we look at the transport aircrafts, that number is at 209, and trainer aircrafts are at 167. Total helicopters here are 203, and attack helicopters sit at 30. So we can tell that, yes, this is a lot closer when we look at the military power in terms of air power. Now let's look at the Navy real quick. So the total naval assets for Saudi Arabia is at 55. They have 7 frigates and 4 corvettes in their possession, as well as 11 patrol aircrafts. The total mine warfare vessels are at 3, and they have 0 submarines as well as 0 aircraft carriers in their possession. The United Arab Emirates now, their total naval assets is at 75. They have 0 frigates in their possession, but they have 2 corvettes and 12 patrol aircrafts. And the mine warfare vessels sit at 2, but their submarines also total 0, and their aircraft carriers are 0 as well. Now for transportation and getting things coordinated and looking at all the logistics and stuff like that, in Saudi Arabia there are 214 serviceable airports. They have 4 major ports and terminals, and their labor force is at 12.02 million people. Saudi Arabia has one of the best funded defense forces in the entire Middle East, and it's reported that they spend 25% of its budget, or about $80 billion, on its military. But now that was based on the 2015 budget, but recent counts show that it's closer to $56.72 billion for their defense budget. Now, when we look at the logistics for the United Arab Emirates, their serviceable airports are a total of 43, and they have 6 major ports and terminals. But their labor force is a lot smaller, sitting at 5.2 million people. And with that, their defense budget is at $14.4 billion. And again, these numbers are all in US dollar figures. But that concludes this episode of which military is better, Saudi Arabia versus UAE. And guys, don't forget, you can check out our video where we compare Saudi Arabia with the United Arab Emirates as a country on a whole. We go into a lot more information than just the military stuff. So that video will be at the end of this episode, or I'll have the link down below in the video description or one of the cards. You'll find it. And of course, you can always follow me on social media. Those links are down below. And guys, I'll see you real soon. Now, for those of you who want to know more about these nations, here's our video that we did where we compare these 2 nations, and you can also watch more Which Is Better episodes. Thank you guys so much for watching FTD Facts, and be sure to come back here daily for more videos.